Okay, so now this gets to the question. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Terry.
Terry asked a question. Okay, this is all great, but how are they going to, where does this all go? All right, so how are the donors going to come? CultureWorks is going to promote Power2Give. It's going to promote the awareness of it, like we did this morning. By the way, your reporter is just excited to death about this. The Daily News reporter, she's just over the moon. So you guys should have a good time with that. But they're going to support you by promoting the brand, by promoting the overall concept of Power2Give. They're going to work to get more matching funds. All right? So they're going to be on the high level. But I will be brutally honest and tell you it is not their job to promote your projects. That falls to you all. You have to promote the projects. If you post the project and just hope somebody will see it, it ain't going to get a dime. I'm telling you right now. You use your URL that we gave you, and all your communications, embed that in your website. You get the Power2Give logo and put it on at the bottom of your website. People can click there at any time and see the project you've got going on. Social media, if you have a social media presence, great. If you don't, this is a great chance to get it started. Board members, this is not too far removed from the Christmas list, you know, when you're raising money, you know, getting the word out in the community, telling your board members to each contact 20 people that haven't supported you. It's just amazing how this can spread in the community. Did you have a question?
Yeah, the permanent URL that you're giving, do they all look like the one that you showed an example of, like .go/8?
They did, but you can do bit.ly or you can do a tiny URL. You can create a shorter one for.
Something more simple, like Power2Give /DGMC.
We don't provide that, but I think you can get an alias. You can set up an alias. Chloe, are you a whiz on that? On URL aliases?
I've done it before. I didn't know if you allow that.
Okay. Yeah, we don't offer that within the system. We're doing some testing about the capability of doing that, but for right now, no, we don't do that. But I think there's a way to. And the way the internet is now, if you just have a graphic image with that link, it's going to behind it. You don't need to have that be too complicated. So, yes.
The promotion.
And
the new donors that we're going to get.
Yes.
Will the projects be listed on the Power2Give?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because otherwise, Yvette does a fabulous job. Everybody knows what we're doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's where I'm trying to figure out how the new people come in.
Yes, the new people. Now, I will say that, you know, in our experience, the vast majority of support comes through the promotions that individual organizations make. But yes, we do have not a small number of people that go to Power2Give Dayton and see the projects and pick one. So yes, they can come a number of different ways. It's a good question.
If they have a gift card, that's what.
Gift card.
They'll go to
Yep.
Power2Give and they'll shop it.
So, you know, what we're asking you to do is essentially market these projects, but not necessarily, you don't have to spend money on advertising. In fact, we have very little advertising money that we see spending on Power2Give. Most people, it's email. It's the ambassador concept. When you get constituents, let's say you're doing scholarships for students, get the parents involved. Identify what constituents of yours are going to have a vested interest in the project and get them to help promote the project. These are just some things that we've seen over the time. We encourage you to think sequentially so that once one project is done, you post the next one, and you always have something on Power2Give at any given time. This is just, and I think we'll provide this. Did we made a copy of this for them? Okay, so you have this. This is just an example of a quick and dirty marketing campaign that shows a target segmenting a target audience. This particular project is a Symphony 4th of July fireworks that the Charlotte Symphony wanted to have. They identified 3 target audiences: their board, young affiliate group, and musicians. Then they identified an ambassador for each of those. So it was a vice chair for the board, a group co-chair for the young affiliates, and a lead cellist for the symphony. The call to action is, what are you trying to get the audience to do? And each one has a separate call to action. The message is, why should your target audience care about the project? What's in it for them? For the board, it's engaging more support. For the young affiliates, its supporters' names will be read from the fireworks show, before the fireworks show. And musicians, it'll grow a bigger and more engaged crowd for the 4th of July concert. And then strategies and tactics. Just take this template and create it for your own project. And then you've instantly got a roadmap of how to contact each of those constituents that's going to support your project and get them to spread the word. So it's not there yet because CultureWorks' website is about to be rejuvenated, relaunched, right? So they will have a Power2Give support page where you can download. We have a very intricate marketing toolkit which has templates, email templates that you can just basically copy. Messages that you can send out to your board and your supporters. Different messages for different steps along the way. The great thing about Power2Give is that you can generate momentum and enthusiasm as your project approaches its completion date. So you can send a message out to your patrons saying, we got 10 days left, folks, and we're $1,000 away. And by the way, DP&L still has some money out there. They're going to match. They're going to match 1-to-1 for every dollar you give. So you create that sense of momentum. One-pagers, social media copy, and logos. So we'll provide all that for you as part of this process. So the question is, am I cannibalizing my existing donors by doing this? And the statistic that we have is that, at least in Charlotte, and we think this is repeating around the country, 44% of the people that give to Power2Give projects have never supported either the Arts and Science Council or that organization that they're supporting. So these are new donors. New donors. Now again, these are small donors. These are 25. These are not going to be your big bucks, folks. But 44% new donors. Let me just see real fast. Let's see here. I'm not seeing it. All right, I was hoping to show you an example of that email, but it'll be coming through shortly. Oh.
It's so much nicer than outside here right now.
I know it is. So the donors are thanked automatically when they make their gift. So that's an example of an acknowledgement that I received. They're going to get a tax notification, so CultureWorks is going to handle all that. And you get a notification like that one on the right, that so-and-so has just given a gift of $50. You're going to get that notification with all the information in the email the minute that they give. And then you can pull that donor report anytime you need. So you have access to the donor list. And following up on a question earlier, you really have 3 opportunities with Power2Give to thank people. You can thank them when they make their gift. You can thank them when your project is finished on Power2Give or is fully funded. And then you contact them again and say, hey, that ballet that you supported, it's going to be showing next week, and we want you to come to the reception. So you've got 3 built-in opportunities. Again, you have their information, no tickets. Offer them a lovely discount separate from all this. Again, you have their information, and you should incorporate that into whatever database you have for that process. We think invitations to get to know you is probably the best benefit. And I view Power2Give as a great builder of that bottom of that fundraising pyramid. In Charlotte, the North Carolina Dance Theater, one of the Power2Give donors who had never given to the North Carolina Dance Theater wound up giving them a 6-figure gift about 12 months later. So that's a little bit of an extreme example, but it happens. But we see this as a gateway to get people involved and get them invited into your organizations. And then as you become more experienced with Power2Give, let's say you had a donor give $1,000 to your first project. Call them up and say, hey, we're going to do another project. How would you like to be a matching donor? And match dollar for dollar the new gifts that we get on Power2Give. That's a great strategy, and we've done that a couple times in Charlotte. So it becomes it feeds itself. So it's a partnership. CultureWorks is here to support you. That's different than Kickstarter or Indiegogo where you're on your own. They will give you advice and recommendations. They're going to provide that infrastructure and the marketing for the brand. You provide the projects and the passion. And then the donors support the projects and share that passion with their friends. And hopefully it's an easy online experience for everybody. In terms of the launch plans, we need you to get your projects submitted by February 14th, and that's why you have a heart-shaped York peppermint patty, because it's Valentine's Day. So between now and the 14th, you should be thinking about those projects. You can get registered. And then the concept is the March launch date is, the public launch is the 6th, but there's going to be a soft launch a couple of days prior where your board, you and your boards will be provided with additional information and hopefully gift cards. I know we haven't really talked about specifics.
That'll be March 3rd. That'll be the Monday of the week that we're launching on the 6th. And by the way, that's Chloe's old extension number we moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At period, so her extension's 204. I think you have that other places, but I'm just coming.
Anything else you want to talk about specific about this launch? I know we're still putting it all together, but this gives you plenty of time, about almost 3 weeks. You can, and again, if you want your thing to be later than the launch, you determine the launch, the particular period, the time period for your start of your project. Yes.
Okay, let's say you're lucky enough that maybe Habitat and maybe Green Ink here decide that they want to partner with you on a project. I'm going to provide art classes or artwork for them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be on there 4 or 5 times as We Care Arts as long as I'm partnering with other people, or can I only be on there once?
We are, we're one person per 501c3.
Okay, so if I'm going to partner with her,
She can post a project that she's partnering with you. You could post a project that you're partnering with her. Or maybe there's a third organization you both want to partner, but for each 501c3, we can only have one project up at a time. It might get funded in a week and a half, and then you can do another one. But
Yep.
So, but if We Care Arts is doing 2, can they have 2 in partnership at the same time? Like if they have that post one, and We Care Arts is partnering with us, but we're putting ourselves out there as the lead, and then she posts one herself as the lead, can those both have it at the same time?
yes, she can only post one, but she can participate
In
Mhm.
with
and another one, that
We
just
want to
wouldn't be the.
encourage that.
Okay,
That's
it just
great.
would maybe not be my 501c3 number that's up there as the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So you want to talk about the matching funds? How much they are and what they're for?
The matching funds, we have one question.
Oh,
Let's get
okay.
her question. in.
Actually, it has to do with matching. For instance, you said DPNL has been a big funder of Power to Give. Does that mean that they took the money from the general campaign and put it in Power to Give, or is that in addition to?
No, that's in addition, and DPNL has not actually been a funder of our major campaign for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
So this is not.
This is extra.
This is different, and some corporate funders will absolutely not fund a United Arts campaign because it's pass-through funds. I mean, some grants and things, that just doesn't work. I think this is appealing not only to new individual donors, but it's also appealing to different corporate donors and foundations, and even individuals can do matching gifts. And so the DP&L matching gift is not restricted in any way, but funders can restrict their matching gift funding. The Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District funding is restricted in that, A, it will only be eligible to organizations in Montgomery County. No big surprise there. And it also, because they're a funder and they provide general operating support, their funding will not be available to organizations that they already support through their general operating funding. So right now we only have 2, but when we get more, we will look, CultureWorks, at the project and see what the best, if we've got restricted funding, we're going to look for the projects that most closely match with that, and then it will default to the unrestricted matching funding.
And so they determine, when you submit your projects, they determine the eligibility for the match, and they'll let you know which which fund.
You're gonna get the same match one way or
Right.
the other. We're just gonna figure out.
DP&L
which
is
one.
$50,000, and it's a one-to-one match. And I'll just warn you folks, in Detroit, they had $60,000 for the launch, and it went in 36 hours. So may the best person win. And then the Montgomery County is
Montgomery County is 10,000, and they're still looking, but we think that's a dollar-to-dollar match also. But matching funders do have the option of matching 50 cents on the dollar, and really choosing, they can get very, very specific about, I am only going to sponsor something that has to do with, arts education, that's it. Or children, pre-K. I mean, they can get very, very specific. It's interesting, in Charlotte, there were some projects with recreation and outdoor activities, and their matching funder was Blue Cross Blue Shield, because they saw the health benefit.
That's why there's only $631 left. That was specific for Parks and Rec projects, and they just haven't posted one yet. So
But we'll try and do the match.
I know you want
to make sure. But if we've got a very narrow restriction, we're gonna first look at you, do you fit that? Because there won't be that many projects that fit it, so you would go there first, but if not, we'll default to the general.
And if you have ideas for prospective matching funds, please talk to the Cultural Works staff. They'll be on it like a heartbeat, and this is a win-win situation. So, all right, I think my dog and pony is done. Are there any other questions that are remaining? Yes.
Do you have an example of donor reports?
Yes. Hopefully. Let's see. So if I go to my section, or my project dashboard, I'm going to pull the donor reports. Whoops, going to ask me to log in again. So these are all the projects, and all I have to do is hit the donor report link. That's going to pull it over to my computer, and hopefully I picked one that actually has a donor or two in it. This launches Excel. That's a different one. But this one, it has two donors. It gives you the site project number, the posting organization, the name of the project. Again, lots of information about the start and stop. It shows the pledge, the total pledge, how much the donor gave, how much the sponsor gave, who the sponsor was, the payment type, when the donation was made, and the name, address. And actually, we have international now, so it'll fill in international information. But it also has name, address, phone number, and email. Okay, so that's what it would look like. I'll tell you, the average project on Power2Give has between maybe 20 to 25 donors, so this is not a long list. And we have lots of folks in Charlotte, when we announce matching funds, they have big donors lined up, so they'll grab up that money real fast. So they'll say, "Why aren't you gaming the system?" And you say, "Well, yeah, but if you've got the matching, if you've got the funds, go get them. It's all fair." But that's the kind of report you'll be able to pull. Other questions? Good one.
There's no email provided? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's at very end there.
Right there, where it's highlighted.
Oh, so sorry, yes.
Yeah, it's just it comes in a CSV file with all the columns. You have to widen the columns. It's all there though. Yes.
Can donors give anonymously, or do you have to provide the system with contact?
You have to. We are working to set up. We've had a request for like in honor of or in memory of, and we're working to set that up as a feature in the completion page. Right now, you have to fill out your credit card information, but if it truly wants to be anonymous, we can go back in and change it to say anonymous. You just have to let CultureWorks know, and then they'll let us know, and we'll get it changed. But technically, right now, it has to be. We've had a couple requests for that, so that's a good point.
Do you have a record of whether it's better to do 4 smaller projects? For example, if you need $10,000 at the end of the year, would it be better to do 4 consecutive $2,500 projects because the donation would be probably a smaller donation? rather than trying to look for the $10,000 immediately?
Well, this may not answer your question, but my advice for everyone starting out is to start on the small side. Start out with something that's manageable. Don't you know, $10,000, unless you have a couple of big givers lined up, $10,000 is a lot of money to raise on crowdfunding. So I would start small and then do it sequentially. And then as you get more comfortable and your donors get excited, then maybe go up a little bit higher. So there's no right way to do it. It's whatever. And again, Cultural Works staff, they're gonna, if you put a project on for $10,000, their first question is, what's your plan? How are you gonna raise $10,000? Because honestly, in Charlotte, they have a hell of a time raising $10,000 for projects. It's not easy, okay? So, yes?
The most frequent gift is frequently $50, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of $50 adding up.
Yep.
10,000.
But again, keep in mind that with the matching funds, you only have to, it's not, your project doesn't get that additional. You only have to raise, yeah, exactly. And then once it's raised, once that money's gone, it's gone. Yes?
Does your company do anything to aid projects that are not affiliated with a nonprofit organization?
No.
No?
Has to be nonprofit. Yes?
Have you ever seen somebody try to raise money for an experience where a donor, I'm trying to think of like an example, but say you are putting on a play or something and you have all these costs associated with putting on the play that may or may not be appealing to a donor, but one of the donors would be chosen at random then to have a small part in the play.
Ooh.
Or do something experiential, and one of the people who gives gets that.
That's a cool idea. No, I haven't heard of that, but that's a wonderful idea.
Okay, so that would be
I don't know.
allowable, I guess?
Huh?
That would be something that would be allowed?
Sure.
Okay,
I don't
or
see any-
like that would be kind of the enticement to give, as a,
Well-
almost like a lottery or something.
Yeah, but if I'm shy, I may not want to give.
Right.
No, not me.
Give it away.
Yeah, you could give it away. Sure.
You don't have to accept it.
Yeah, it's like conducting the symphony, right? You get a chance to conduct the symphony.
Right.
That'd be great. Sure. Yeah. Good idea. I'm telling you, as many projects and as many we have, just whatever you could think of. I'd really be hard pressed to say, you know, unless it's not a nonprofit, you can do almost anything on Power2Give. It's a pretty cool product. So, any last words from the Cultural Works folks?
Please make sure you sign up that you did attend the training, because that is mandatory to post your project. And I just want to say I added Peter, I saw Lynn and Cindy back here, Jean. Yeah. But if you didn't sign up, other than those people, I'll be right here.
Okay, and we're here to answer your questions afterward, and look for an email to get started, and thank you for your time today. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah, see?